Blizzard explained how the matchmaking rating works and how they plan to improve it. Let's have a look. Hey guys, I'm Damesish from the Omnic Post with an update on Overwatch 2. One of the major complaints with Overwatch 2 has been the matchmaking. People have been describing horrific experiences where silver players end up in the same lobbies as grandmaster players, which makes those games feel really unbalanced. And while they have been mentioning improvements in every single patch note, Blizzard has been keeping their lips sealed tight when it comes to explaining how the system works and what the actual problems are. On top of that, it doesn't seem to be getting any better. We still hear those same stories. At least that is how we as players experience it. But after the latest upset, which was at the start of Season 2, when players found out that their rank had been the victim of a new type of decay, dropping them multiple tiers under where they ended in the previous season, and this time around without any placement matches to blame it on. It turns out that Blizzard did this on purpose to give us something to work for. I have plenty to work for. Thank you. Anyways, I do get the intent behind that measure, but to put this on top of all the other issues, it just wasn't the time. It kind of felt like someone was doing a prank at a funeral. Not the time, trust me. Now Blizzard tried to hide that proverbial whoopee cushion. They apologized and they promised us to communicate better about how the system works and what is going on. And this week they did just that. In the first on 2 blog posts about matchmaking and competitive, they gave us a bit of an insight on the matchmaking rating. Now, it wasn't anything too surprising. I feel like we already knew most of it. But still, as we know, the matchmaking rating is an approximation of your skill, and it is the only number ever used to do matchmaking. So basically to find your teammates and your opponents. And it only goes up and down if you win or lose a match. There is one exception, however. If you have not played the game for a long time, they will do an adjustment according to some type of formula, which makes sense. But this MMR is in no way a fixed number. Like, not only is it going to move according to your own performance, but your personal matchmaking rating will also be influenced by the performance of other players, by the community on a whole. So if the community gets better or worse, you'll see that reflected in your MMR. It basically is an organic system that changes based on the data set of the whole community. The thing is, of course, if a ton of new players come in, or there's a lot of returning players, let's say at the start of a new season for instance, that system will fluctuate way harder. It's like dropping a huge ice cube in the sea. Till that ice cube melts, it's going to create some waves. And that is about as far as the whole explanation part went. Now, from what they showed us, they do have a separate MMR for comp and quick play. And I also do suspect that they have a different matchmaking rating based on a role. And according to the blog, they intend to use it, but more on that in a second. Now, I'm wondering if they also have a number that kind of ties into the heroes. I mean, if you look at tanks, for instance, I can be an excellent Reinhardt, but the worst Doomfist you've ever seen. The thing is, of course, they don't know which hero you are going to pick before they match you up with other people. So that number is in that way kind of useless, unless you start involving other systems that try and predict what you're going to do. But I don't think they're that far already. So your hero choice definitely has an impact on the game, but I don't think they take it into account right now. But it does show that matchmaking is a very intricate process, that it is difficult, complicated, especially when new people and new heroes keep joining the game. On top of all that, they highlighted 2 issues. Basically 2 challenges that they're dealing with right now. Well, stuff they have on their to-do list for after New Year's, when the turkey is all digested, and they already have given up on their good intentions for 2023, and are chowing down 12 Snickers. We've all been there. The first one is groups. When we as players group up and queue, we make it a little more difficult on the system, since they need to matchmake a whole team and not just you. And it seems that currently they don't match as hard on your performance within a role. They'll just have a general number that they'll use, which is something they're going to change in the coming months. They basically want to match every role in both teams. So they'll want to make sure that they have the same quality tank, that both healers are counted in the other team, and that both DPS are counted in the other team, which sounds like it will have quite an impact on the queue times. On the other hand, matches will feel a lot more balanced. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. The second issue that they're working on right now are new players. Now, they noticed that new players lose way more games than they should, which kind of makes sense. They still need to learn, and they have very little data on them. Now, previously, new players would start at an MMR just below average, the equivalent of low silver. But recently, they lowered it even further to the equivalent of high bronze. And it definitely helped with the win-lose rate for those new players. Now, to avoid that those levels become a pool for new players, the matchmaking system tries to get them out of there as soon as possible. So currently, they weigh the initial matches that you play as a new player way differently from the standard games. So you jump or drop way faster. And to speed that process up even more, they now added the streak modifier. So if you win a few games in a row or you lose a few games in a row, you'll jump up or down even faster than that. And all this in hopes to get you to your proper level as fast as possible, because that benefits everybody. Now, overall, we definitely got a better overview of the matchmaking grading. And I do think there's a lot more happening under the hood than they're telling us right now. But at some point, it just becomes too complicated, I guess. And I do understand the challenges that they're being faced with. But not everything they told us in that blog post explains how a bronze or a silver player can be teamed up with a grandmaster player. On the other hand, they're playing a chess game, and this might be an outliner. And we are in the very early phases of what is a new game. The team said that they're keeping a close eye on everything and that they'll make the proper adjustments if needed. Their goal is to make sure that the game feels fair and fun for everybody, even if you lose. Good luck with that. But tell me, did you learn anything new from what they told us? And what are your good intentions for 2023? Let me know in the comments. Join me during my streams on twitch.tv/DamesTV and make sure to subscribe for more updates on Overwatch.